Imagine a world without Microsoft, a world without the seamless Windows operating systems or the Office applications that have powered businesses for decades. It's almost unimaginable. Microsoft is a cornerstone of the digital age, but to understand how it came to hold such a position, we need to dive into its story. A tale of ambition, innovation, and an unyielding desire to shape the future of technology. Our story begins in Albuquerque, New Mexico in 1975, a time when computers were rare machines, mostly limited to corporate offices and research labs. Enter two young men, Bill Gates, an ambitious Harvard dropout, and Paul Allen, a tech-savvy thinker. Both were bonded by a shared love of computing and a vision for where the industry was headed. Their first big project? A programming language called BASIC, designed for the Altair 8800, a boxy blinking device that was one of the earliest personal computers. The tale of BASIC's development is already legendary. Gates and Allen didn't even own an Altair when they started coding. Instead, they wrote their program using a PDP-10 mini-computer and simulated the Altair on it. When they finally tested their code on the real machine, it worked perfectly. BASIC was a hit with hobbyists, and Microsoft, a name coined by combining microcomputer and software, was officially in business. But the true turning point came in 1980, when IBM approached Microsoft with an offer that would change the trajectory of the company and the personal computer market forever. IBM was developing its first personal computer, and it needed an operating system. Microsoft didn't have one at the time, but they saw the opportunity and seized it. They acquired the rights to 86DOS, a rudimentary operating system created by another company, and adapted it into what would become MS-DOS. Nobody could have predicted the impact this deal would have. IBM PCs running MS-DOS quickly became the gold standard, and Microsoft secured a licensing agreement that meant it could sell MS-DOS to other manufacturers as well. By the mid-1980s, MS-DOS was practically everywhere, cementing Microsoft's place as a leader in software. But Gates and Allen weren't content to rest on their laurels. They saw the limitations of text-based operating systems like MS-DOS and set their sights on something revolutionary: graphical user interfaces. It would take years of trial and error, but in 1985, Microsoft released the first version of Windows. Now, let's be clear. Early versions of Windows weren't exactly groundbreaking. They were buggy, clunky, and received with skepticism from many in the industry. But Gates had a vision. He believed that GUIs were the future of computing, and he wasn't going to give up without a fight. His persistence paid off. In 1990, Microsoft released Windows 3.0, an updated version that was faster, more stable, and easier to use. It was a runaway success, selling millions of copies in its first year and putting Microsoft at the forefront of the software world. From then on, Windows was unstoppable. Windows 95 introduced us to the iconic Start menu and the plug-and-play functionality that made PCs more accessible to ordinary users. Windows XP became the backbone of computing for businesses and homes alike. While Windows was transforming the operating system market, Microsoft was also making waves in productivity software. In the late 1980s, the company began integrating its popular programs, Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, into a single package called Microsoft Office. It might seem obvious now, but at the time, the idea of bundling these tools together was groundbreaking. Office wasn't just convenient, it became an essential toolkit for productivity. Whether you were drafting memos, crunching numbers, or creating presentations, Microsoft Office had you covered. Today, Office, along with its cloud-based counterpart, Microsoft 365, is the standard for productivity software worldwide. But innovation doesn't come without challenges, and Microsoft faced plenty as the Internet emerged in the 1990s. At first, the company was slow to recognize the importance of a connected world. Netscape Navigator dominated as the browser of choice, and Microsoft found itself playing catch-up. Play catch-up it did, introducing Internet Explorer, which eventually became one of the most widely used web browsers. For a time, Microsoft seemed invincible, with Windows, Office, and Internet Explorer dominating virtually every aspect of personal computing. But this level of success brought scrutiny. The late 1990s and early 2000s saw Microsoft embroiled in antitrust lawsuits. Regulators argued that the company's business practices were anti-competitive. particularly its bundling of Internet Explorer with Windows. It was a rocky period, but Microsoft weathered the storm and emerged more focused than ever. In the new millennium, but innovation doesn't come without challenges, and Microsoft faced plenty as the Internet emerged in the 1990s. At first, the company was slow to recognize the importance of a connected world. Netscape Navigator dominated as the browser of choice, and Microsoft found itself playing catch-up. Play catch-up it did, introducing Internet Explorer, which eventually became one of the most widely used web browsers. For a time, Microsoft seemed invincible, with Windows, Office, and Internet Explorer dominating virtually every aspect of personal computing. Microsoft began broadening its horizons. Gaming became a key focus with the introduction of the Xbox gaming console in 2001. What started as a bold experiment has now become one of the pillars of Microsoft's business, with Xbox consoles and services serving millions of gamers worldwide. Another transformational move was Microsoft's entry into cloud computing. With the launch of Azure, the company became one of the leading providers of cloud services, enabling businesses to store data, develop applications, and harness computing power in ways that were previously unimaginable. And Microsoft didn't stop there. Under the leadership of CEO Satya Nadella, the company has embraced artificial intelligence, acquired game-changing assets like LinkedIn, GitHub, and Activision Blizzard, and strengthened its foothold in enterprise solutions. But Microsoft's story isn't just about products, it's about people. Bill Gates, the co-founder and driving force during Microsoft's early years, is considered one of the most influential figures in modern technology. Paul Allen, often the quieter half of the duo, played a vital role in shaping the company's vision. Steve Ballmer took the reins during a period of rapid growth, while Satya Nadella has led Microsoft into a new era as a cloud-first company. Of course, no empire lasts without facing challenges. Microsoft has been criticized for its handling of privacy concerns, occasional missteps in emerging markets, and its fierce competition with rivals like Apple, Google, and Amazon. Yet through it all, it has remained a pillar of technological innovation. Today, Microsoft's legacy is undeniable. From the software that powers our computers to the AI systems shaping our future, the company has left an indelible mark on the world. Its journey is a testament to the power of bold ideas, the persistence to see them through, and the ability to continually adapt in an ever-changing landscape. And as technology continues to evolve, one thing is clear: Microsoft's story is far from over. Thanks for joining us on this journey through Microsoft's history. If you enjoyed this, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And let us know in the comments which Microsoft innovation has made the biggest impact in your life. Until next time.